like kind of, you know, fuck these on, right?
Yeah, we got.
We're RightonQuelive and we are live, and got some good vibes in the room. We got some visitors from across the bridge. Introduce yourself, sir.
Charles J. From Urbane, based out of Jersey.
Gotcha. Clothing line, brand, lifestyle. So first, talk more about yourself. Talk more about the brand, then we get into some more generic talk. Let's be generic at the beginning, then let's branch out. So tell me, what's the day one story? You making the clothes, screen printing something? What's the story?
We didn't even start with screen printing.
Okay.
But so at age 2, I was diagnosed with a Wilms tumor. That's cancer of the kidney. I went through chemotherapy and surgical removal.
Oh, I'm sorry, real quick. For once, usually I do like the one-on-one interviews, like in the basement, but the plug got me in the living room. I'm like, feel like fucking Arsenio or something, like off center. But I was gonna continue, but yeah,
So I had cancer when I was 2. Had my right kidney removed, went through chemotherapy. When I was growing up, like I always kind of like been into fashion, especially in college. I was a guy wearing like bow ties and blazers to 8 o'clock class. So
I hated you.
Everybody.
The 8 a.m.?
Yeah, the 8 a.m. on a Friday too, drunk, hungover, and with a blazer on. Probably the same blazer from the night before. But
man, you was meant to be great.
But so when I got out of college, I started the brand because I wanted to start something that was kind of like my own, that I can kind of put my own stamp on.
Before that, what was at that time? Like right before that, what were you wearing typically? Like before, like what was
I was
like
all dressed up, like Aldo shoes and Steve Madden shoes, blazers, bow ties, like all cashmere sweaters, all of that. So.
And just another question: who were maybe some of the celebrities or public figures that was like, oh, I fuck with her, I fuck with how they do things?
When I was growing up, it was Farnsworth Bentley.
Farnsworth?
He just threw on whatever and he just didn't care.
Bow tie guy.
Yeah. He was the bow tie guy. He's still the bow tie guy.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Yeah, so the brand, you started that?
Yeah, so I started the brand when I had just graduated from college. I had spent some money out and tried to find some resources for a manufacturer. So I got stuff made in the U.S. first, which was, of course, more costly than it is to go overseas.
Okay, Trump.
Okay, Trump.
U.S. factories.
Nah, they trying to tax us right now. But, yeah, so I found a manufacturer in the U.S. I got one design made and just put it out there to the public. It didn't really sell that great because it was a $300 baseball jersey, but I wanted to make sure that the quality was like great when I first started from day one. So I didn't do like any type of like screen print. I literally did like custom fabric and all embroidery. So that hit the market. It didn't sell that well. It was a $300 jersey. Nobody knew who I was. People were asking me like, yo, who the fuck you think you are selling a $300 baseball jersey off the rip? But that was kind of like the attitude that I had from the beginning. Like I know the kind of product that I want to develop, and I didn't want to take any shortcuts. So it was like, yo, I got to find the best quality possible.
And looking back, you still feel like that was the right decision starting out, or you would have tweaked it?
I mean, everything happens for a reason, so I don't regret any decision that I have made. But from a financial standpoint, it probably wasn't the greatest decision to make from the beginning, because you should try to start where you can control your inventory. And I wasn't really in a position to where I could control my inventory because I had to get a certain amount of pieces, and the pieces were expensive. So it's like, if I'm not turning around selling these pieces, I can't go get more.
Side note, we was talking about basketball earlier. Did the Lonzo Ball sneakers ever come out? The $500 Jones?
Nah, I don't think so. Did they come out?
He finessed the whole culture.
Yeah, no, he did. But I mean, they still got like their merch that they have. But I know
the sneakers never came out though.
Nah, they probably would have sold too.
Well, they were selling, I think. I don't know if it was doing numbers, but I know people say, no, we should support them. Da da da. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, no,
Thank you, sir.
I don't know. They started talking about merch. I've been seeing people with big baller T-shirts, so they doing something.
Okay, they probably $100. Shout out to them.
Yeah, probably.
Urbane. What is what was the first? So, what made you do that first baseball jersey? Just thinking what's some of the thinking behind the approach to it? And
so the baseball jersey, it was an all-white baseball jersey. On the back of it, it had the year '93 because that was the year I was diagnosed with cancer. Okay. And then it had like a fist on the back to symbolize survivor. So it's called like the Survivor Collection. And on the bottom of the baseball jersey was the word survivor and then the definition. And then I kind of tried to translate the survivor aspect of it to
podcast.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, podcast. Don't mind him.
But I wanted to translate the baseball jersey theme because I play sports. So just the story behind the brand as far as like the survivor aspect of being a cancer survivor, but also translating it to everybody's a survivor going day to day. They're battling something, regardless if it's financial things, school, work, whatever. Like somebody's always battling something. So I try to make it like inclusive, but still somewhat exclusive because I didn't want to sell a bunch of pieces.
Gotcha.
But then I ended up finding a manufacturer overseas going into the next collection, and it was like complete customization to whatever I wanted, and I was able to release the foundation collection, which was like the birth of the brand. What I mean by the birth of the brand is the color blocks. That's the first collection that I put out for the color blocks. It was called the Foundation Collection. When I was getting my treatment at CHOP, I was there for like 3 months after I had my surgery. Every morning I wake up, I would play with these building blocks. So the building blocks you see are that I was playing with are the building blocks that you see that are on the brand. And the imagery or translation for it was I was taking everything that I went through and using that as the building blocks for how I was going to live my life. So it's not just...
so you really was thinking.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
you didn't just put like a logo and then, all right, we good, y'all, let's just buy it.
Nah, like I really didn't. I was just really like, the biggest thing for me is like, yeah, I'm going to design clothes, but the biggest thing is the story behind the brand. And I got to make sure that the stamp of the brand includes everything that the story involves too.
I think it makes more sense because people who, let's say you might just like it from a design standpoint, and you, it's a story behind it, I fuck with it even more. Yeah. Or you hear about the story first, and like, I'm buying into it, I'm invested in it, and why not support it? So I guess
definitely, and I think even from a designer standpoint, like if you don't have something that people can emotionally buy into, yeah, they can buy into the product, but once somebody else drops something that's just as dope as yours, there's no brand
loyalty.
They
may be more popular or something.
Yeah, because you know how it is right now. Clout is major. If you have clout, or if you have some type of buzz or attention, you can put out whatever you want. You can put out music, you can put out art, you can put out clothes, you can sell lighters, sell 1 million of them. Like Chance sold $6 million worth of hats.
Shout out to Chance.
Yeah, shout out to Chance for that.
Still wearing 3 hats. That shit 2 years old.
He sold $6 million for that. I mean, it just goes to show that if you do have the attention or the influence, that you can develop whatever product you want.
Or tick.
Yeah, that's
Shout out to tick.
Yeah.
To you, so let's say, so you consider yourself a stylish man, right?
For the most part, I mean, I don't get caught up in what's fashionable, what's trending, or like, I feel like style is just like any form of art is perception based.
Okay.
Like what I might think is stylish or fashionable, you might not think is stylish or fashionable. So it's kind of like, I feel like everybody has to, somebody who's self-aware can be confident in whatever they wear. People who are not self-aware or have some type of insecurity, they can't wear whatever they want to wear because they're going to think like, oh, what is this person going to say if I wear this? And I've just always been that I don't really give a fuck what anybody thinks. I'm just going to wear whatever I want to wear.
Okay, with that being said, would you feel insulted if someone said, nah, you're not stylish? Or I don't like your style?
No.
No? Okay. So, let's say a girl that you're interested in, whether it's before, past, or future, does she have to like, do you have to like her style, or can y'all like conflict, or is it like some type of like...
Nah, I mean, I feel like that's something
no, that's you. Alright, if you like it, I love it type thing.
It's kind of in between. Like, I've never really been with like in a relationship with a woman who couldn't really like dress, so it's hard for me to like. They have their own unique style, so it's like I might have like a hey, like do this or that, but then like they turn around and do the same thing for me. Like, hey, like this might look dope with that, like, and I'll try it because I'm open to that. I'm not just gonna shut somebody down because they have an opinion. I'm gonna listen to it and register it, and if I think what they say is a good opportunity, then I might take advantage of it. But if not, I'm just gonna put it in my pocket and I might use it later. Who knows? But
yeah, she wasn't my girl. It was like personal per se, but she was an athlete, and like she just had like no sense of style, and it bothered me. You know, actually, cause I always say like, typically a dude knows if he wants to cuff you, and like in the early beginnings of things, but it's certain things that will prevent him from ever taking that next step.
I don't think fashion or style, I mean, it might, but I mean, I feel like that's something that you can, if you wanted to, you could help.
What was other things
change, but some people don't want to be changed and they want to be themselves.
I just like looking good as a unit. like you gotta look good as a unit. The girl, like, no, especially your girl, like, yo, yeah, my girl walk through the room, it's like, yeah, that's me. Oh yeah, yeah, like she ain't turning her head. It's just like, damn.
Yeah, I mean,
but stay the person on.
It's crazy because there's a lot of women who like necessarily might not be the most attractive, but their style puts them to another level. And then there's women who look really, really pretty and they can't dress, so it might take them down to like a 6 or a 5.
Damn. What do you think about this? I had a conversation one time. Which race of women is the most stylish?
Oh my God.
Generally.
Well, damn sure ain't the Hispanic women. They wearing pajama pants and Jordans.
Pajama pants and Team Jordans. Damn it.
I mean, I don't.
Because I said black, someone told me Asian, and I was confused.
I think it's. I don't know, because then, like, what. I mean, because then you have, like, African American or black women who are from different parts of the world. Like, you have black women that live in Europe who are into high fashion and into those trends. Then you have Asian in Japan and Tokyo who is super into like high-end streetwear. So like it's different. Like
they trying to say no, you can't just focus on the girls in the Nellery. No, just don't think about that. You gotta think about like the Tokyo foreign exchange students. When I went to college, like the flyest niggas on the whole campus were like these Middle Eastern dudes. You could tell came from oil money.
Yeah, and they just had everything they wear.
It'll be a blizzard outside. They have like a Louis sports jacket on, like not even cold, smoking the sun. I'm like, damn, this nigga's so fly, not even cold. So
yeah, I mean. It just, I mean, honestly, it just depends. Like because some people, you'll ask somebody like, yo, what's fashionable to you? Oh, like if you're wearing designer, you're considered fashionable. I look at you at like you're a puppet.
Especially if you just head to toe with it.
Come on.
Yeah.
The same MCM belt on. Levi jeans every week. Yes.
What day my Fashion Nova? I saw some people talking on the day. They was like, yeah, remember that day that Fashion Nova was hype? That niggas hype, I'm gonna be Fashion Nova, man. Then that shit flopped in one day. Like,
if you look at,
I never actually. Well, I saw the Twitter screenshot of search I was on. I was like, wow, they really selling that. But I never actually looked, so I don't know. Like, you know,
I mean, if you look at the business model of Fashion Nova, it's already been done. It just hasn't been done on the scale of the influencer aspect of it.
Right.
Forever 21 is Fashion Nova.
Yeah.
But Forever 21 took a more like brick and mortar approach versus doing an influencer and online approach. So, I mean, I feel like Fashion Nova over the next couple of years is going to fall into the same thing. Because then somebody else is going to come with the same product, maybe at a cheaper price. Because everybody get Fashion Nova, Pretty Little Thing. They all get the same product from the same suppliers. Just how Forever 21 does the same thing. So, I mean, there's only but so many places you can get product from. I mean, there's a million manufacturers in China, but they all make the same product for the most part. So, Fashion Nova is like, it's fast fashion. 3-4 years from now, it's going to be a lot different. People need to be worried about Amazon. Amazon is having a private label apparel now, but they're also going to give you the option to customize it. So, to the point where you can design a t-shirt and be at your house in 2 days. They're going to change the game a lot. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the higher end designers too, because customization is where the market is going. People want to be able to put their own stamp on something. Imagine you getting a Gucci jacket or like a Gucci shirt and having your name embroidered on it, or you get to pick a specific colorway that you want that maybe nobody else might have right now. Like that's where the market is going. And from a business standpoint, you have to try to prepare yourself for that. How are you going to differentiate yourself from everybody else who's going to have access to that technology? So like Gucci's streamlining their production now. Most production, you have your designs, you go to a prototype, then you go to like a second or third prototype, then you go to runway, and then you release the following season.
Right.
Stuff is going from design, prototype, to the shelf.
House, yeah.
Right. Like now you're not waiting 3 or 4 months. You're literally waiting 2 weeks for a product to hit a shelf. It's going to change the game.
How do you feel about Kanye and his clothes?
Clout.
Like, do you fuck with his sneakers?
Never bought a pair and probably never will.
So you just never liked them?
No, I just know how much it costs to make them. And I don't feel like they're any different than any shoes that you might go see at Aldo or Steve Madden. There's really no difference. There's no quality difference. The shoes aren't made that amazing.
I will say this. I have always been curious to see how they fit. I always hear they're so comfortable. But I want to know if that was a myth or not.
I mean, from what I've experienced from other people telling me, yeah, they are comfortable. But, I mean... Other than that,
yeah, but the design... I personally used to love the Louis ones he had.
I like the ones he did with Nike.
I forgot about the Nike ones was tough too. Yeah, the Red Octobers and the Nike
like
ones.
Those was cool. I mean, when you went with Adidas, they went with a different look and fashion changes. But I feel like a lot of the higher echelon influencers or artists who have influence on the culture, like Kanye was making Gildan tees and selling them for $100.
The Gildan tee thing is wild.
Yeah, it is. But there's designers that are doing it anyway. There's designers that are buying stuff from stores and just putting their label on it. And I mean, but there's different markets for everything, right? So if you're a t-shirt designer, like there's a market for that. You do custom cut and sew, there's a market for that. It's just a matter of how you market yourself and how you target your demographic. I mean, for me, I look at it like I know my demographic. My target market is like the Zara demographic. Like that's kind of the audience that I'm going for. The look of my brand, I feel, is like a sporty type of like J. Crew, where the price is not super high, but the price is not super low, and the quality is like the best that it can possibly be.
Did you struggle with that at certain points, or you came out of the gate knowing exactly what your demographic was, what you were trying? Of course, I knew you had your like your mission statement per se, and the meaning behind everything. But did you like struggle with like those type of business more oriented type of
any type of whenever you start a business, you're gonna run into the hiccups over the first couple years, and then you're gonna run into bigger hiccups as you get bigger.
And how long has it been exactly?
3. I'm going on 3 years now.
Okay.
But as far as like dealing with the hiccups, like you don't know how a product's gonna sell until it hits the market. You can hype it up all you want, but at the end of the day, it still has to go to market. And that was kind of like the thing that I had to get a reality check for myself was, in my mind, I'm developing these dope products, these items that are amazing. How do I get people to believe that they're amazing? And that's where you gotta bridge the gap. That's where marketing comes in and brand. Like, you have to build the brand first.
Yeah, it's funny because I saw an interesting conversation on the timeline the past few days talking about, Philly specifically doesn't have, certain outlets or hubs or platforms, shit like that. And I just took it as, one thing I took it from is like, yeah, a lot of people are still building. And I feel that's one of the hardest things people have to come to grips with when you're building something is that you may see your potential or your worth or your value or your trajectory, but it's going to be a minute before the world or the masses, at least to a substantial amount, sees it as well. And it's like, yeah, you can, but until that time, nobody sees this shit.
Right.
But it's like people have like, it's hard to understand that nobody sees this shit yet.
We're the microwave generation. We think things are gonna happen like this. We go on Instagram, we see a 23-year-old, 24-year-old flying on a private jet. We think it's gonna happen tomorrow. Like there's brands like Supreme.
Or even people that did do it, let's say, because in this day and age, shit do be happening like that.
It does.
But a lot of times it is sustainable, though.
Yeah.
So it's like, and every story isn't for you.
Yeah, and like Supreme, they started in what, 90, 91, I think? They didn't get crazy popping until
less than a decade ago. Like less.
Yeah. Like, but that's the thing about Bill, like Bobby Hundreds. I follow Bobby Hundreds like crazy. Like the collab he did with the Rocky Philly joint, crazy. And from a building a brand standpoint, like, you got to build the culture. Like, you got to build something people want to buy into. And that's the part that's going to take time. That's not going to happen in 2 years, 3 years. These brands that pop up for a year and do all these crazy numbers, 3-4 years from now, where they going to be? They're not going to be around because first, they didn't build a brand. Second, they utilize influencers. But what happens when
they fade?
Yeah, influencers fade. Yeah, Fab can wear a jacket. And you can sell a ridiculous amount of them
at that time.
But a year from now, 2 years from now, like, what you gonna do? Unless you get it on another influencer, and then that's where people depend on your brand for the influencer. They want to see. If they don't see their brand on an influencer, you have no sales. You have no like.
And you're not buying into the brand. You're buying into people they've been like already.
But I feel like that's the difference between people who design and actually like design for the art. And then people who actually design to just make money. Because, like, I can go print a shirt tomorrow on anything that's, like, a social injustice thing or any type of, like, any type of
those Twitter
like,
sayings, like, we not our grandparents.
Right.
Like, these hands work. All right, okay.
But people will go and make $10,000 on that type of T-shirt. Yeah. But that's their mindset. They're in it for the money. So then they're just going to jump on the next idea to make another shirt. And that's cool. Like, I don't put nothing against anybody from a business standpoint. Like, you got to make money. You got to live your life. But, like, there's levels to this shit.
Different objectives, different missions.
Yeah, like, there's the Gucci and Burberrys, they up there. And then you got, like, your Supremes and all that other stuff that trickle down. But, like, I even look at Supreme. Like, Supreme's getting watered down now. They do the Louis V collab. And
I never...
Yeah, and then like there's other brands that are trying to do collabs with H&M that are just like with a Balmain H&M, horrible.
Yeah.
It diminished the quality of the brand.
Yeah.
But it's just brands are trying to find out how to survive. The market is really like literally like you have no idea what's going on next.
Would you say 3 years ago you saw you kind of foresaw your position right now for the future, or you thought it'd be a little slower, a little further along?
I mean, we always think it's gonna move a lot faster than it does. My mindset was New York Fashion Week in 2 years, but I mean, you gotta fall in love with the process. It's the best part. When you get to the top, stuff's a lot different, but when you're at the bottom or you're working your way up, that's the part that you gotta really appreciate and hone in on, because that's what's gonna shape you for when you get up to the top.
Facts.
New York Fashion Week, for me, I don't think it's that far off. I'd give myself probably another 1.5, 2 years max.
Okay.
Just because from a business standpoint, there's things that I have to do better for the business to flourish.
Awareness, like we said earlier.
Yeah. And financial things, like it's different when you deal with overseas manufacturing. I'm 7 months late on production. Like, that killed me earlier this year. I thought about like maybe this is just something I'm not supposed to be doing. But I just ended up pushing through. And what happened with the manufacturer was, when you deal with overseas manufacturers, they have higher quantities. So like, I can't go get 20 shirts. I gotta go get 100, 150, 200, 300 shirts of one color. Like, so if I want to drop 2 colors, I gotta order 500 shirts. And I had originally put the order in. I had customers that placed pre-orders and everything. They cut production on me literally like 2 weeks later. They were like, yo, we're not doing it. And I was like, what do you mean? So I'm going back and forth for like 2 weeks saying like, how can we get this to happen? Like, how many jackets do I have to order? Like, what's the threshold? I've been working with you guys for 2 years. You see that I'm moving up, like I'm making progress, but I just need more time. And they were like, literally like, no, we're not doing it.
Basically saying because it just wasn't enough?
It wasn't enough pieces. So for them, like, they have a production line, right? So a production line, you have one person that assembles this piece, then it goes to the next person, then it's the next person gets packaged up, and then it's good to go. If you're not ordering 200 pieces, it's getting made.
It's not worth their time.
It's not, and it's getting made in the sample room, where they have companies like the manufacturer I had was one of the better manufacturers in the world. They were getting orders for $100,000, $200,000, $2 million, $1 million. My $4,000 order don't mean shit to them. That's nothing. That's like a cakewalk. They can lose me. They don't give a fuck. They can't lose the $1 million account that they got. So that's kind of how it was for me for like the past 7 months, just trying to figure out how I can get this production done. So halfway through, we ended up coming up with an agreement. They ended up saying that production was going to be done in June. We get to June, it's getting pushed back to August. We get to August, it's pushed back to September. Get to September, it's pushed back to October. I literally just got them yesterday. Like the set I have on, I got it yesterday. It was supposed to release in March. Like, I was on February, I was on Love and Hip Hop. Jacquay was wearing it on Love and Hip Hop New York. Was featured in a magazine earlier that year. The Windbreakers dropping would have been the perfect time. But it didn't happen, and everything happens for a reason.
Would you say, was there any lesson learned, or just kind of the journey?
You can't just be sold on one resource. You have to have multiple resources. If you don't, you're gonna end up falling sooner or later. Because if that one manufacturer falls through, like, I was done. I didn't have a brand for 7 months. No product, no nothing to shoot, nothing. My brand was dead for 7 months. Now I'm crawling back to social media trying to make a comeback. And for me, it's just a learning experience. Like, I did find another manufacturer in the midst of all of that that was just high quality enough as the one that I have. And now they're developing other products. But one thing I didn't do was I didn't like sever that relationship I had with the other manufacturer, because they're still a good manufacturer.
It comes with the game.
I didn't want to burn any bridges. So if I do need stuff made, they're still capable of doing it. We just have to come to a better agreement to time frame.
Gotcha. What would you say? So who are some? Is there any like? Okay, you already spoke on Supreme. Well, I saw a lot of people speaking recently about, just like, sign off close real quick, recording charitable acts and like good deeds and shit like that, whatever. You not with it?
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm not with it, because if I wasn't, it wouldn't sit right with my brand. Because I am starting to do like some give back and donate money to like cancer survivors, and that's like the direction going forward. So I'm not gonna glorify it. I'll document, but I'm not gonna glorify me like giving back from something that I went through. Like, that's a given. That's God put me on the earth to do that. I'm not gonna take praise or glorify that. But will I document it? Yes, like most companies do. Whenever you see a company do like an AIDS walk or anything like that, they're gonna document it because it's good for humanity, and that's their corporate social responsibility. People want to buy into that.
Right, and that's how I feel. Like, I get the point when people say, like, because a lot of people do, try to do it in a cheesy and ingenuine
like
way.
they'll just
whatever.
walk down the street and like record themselves.
However, I feel whether ingenuine or not, one, that person still got their money or whatever, that food, that hamburger, and I just feel it still spreads good energy. I feel if everybody just naturally seen these type of acts more often, I think it would happen more often. Same way we see fucking niggas post every chain they buy, post every car, post every thick ass girl. Like we see this shit. Kind of people say nothing about that, or a prank or some dumbass Instagram shit. But it's like, what's really that bad about someone posting a charitable act? Like whether it's
I think it's just the point where when it's the difference between you boasting and you posting. Two different things. For me, like if I'm here and I'm giving somebody something, I'm not gonna say, "Oh wow, I'm out here again giving somebody $10 because they don't have anything to eat." Like I don't think if you do it in that manner, that's what turns people off. But if you do it in like a constructive way, to where like you're really focused on the person versus focusing on yourself, that's when I feel like you can deliver it the right way.
And I also feel like I do have a mixed feelings about like having a camera all up in their face and shit like that, like crying or like dirty. It's like, like little exploitive. Like.
I mean, but the thing is though, I look at it, if you make it about them, it's not even like, you're posting it or you're recording it, but it's not even about you. It's literally about the person. Like you get to talk about their story. Cool. Like that's something that people would want to hear. Like from somebody who went through something and now is homeless, like, or doesn't have money to get food or whatever. Like people want to know the story behind it. They want to know basically what happened, what triggered to get to that point. And I think if you focus on that and really put it on the other person, really put it on the person that you're like interviewing or like recording, then it's different. But if you put it on yourself, like, hey, I'm giving somebody $10 again, then it's you just boasting and doing it on social media.
Fair. Side note once again, how do you feel about role playing? I was having role playing. I had a conversation with people and they were talking about like sex role play. Like I was having a conversation with people and they was like this girl was talking about, like she was talking about she's really into it and shit. And I was like, wow, really? Like that's like she had all these ideas. She's like, I did this already, I want to do this in the future. I was like, wow, you really invested, like. And I was like, that's not really my thing. Like, I never like really did it. Don't really like have plans. If a girl proposed it, I'd be like, nah. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. How you feel about it, sir?
About role playing?
Yeah, that's your thing. You went like you want to. No, that ain't me. That was like 06. Like, nah, not no more. So I'm like,
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I feel like if that's what you get into, that's what you get into.
Can you like press OK on the phone?
I mean, if that's what you get into, I mean, that's...
So she come in like the 50 Shades of Grey outfit, like you with the shits, like...
I mean, I ain't opposed to it. Okay. If that's what she want to do, then that's what she want to do. If that's my girl and that's how we get down, then that's what we going to do. Shit,
some dudes like, no, that ain't my time. I ain't on
There's
that
100 Shades of Grey in this bitch.
Talk heavy, King. Like, I've been waiting for this day. Okay, I will. Like... okay, so let's think. She might really buy let's do like some type of like fashion war, like New York Fashion Week type role play or some shit. Like she done built the stage or something. Like or one of your rival brands. Like
somebody say, "Oh, word, that's what y'all getting into."
Like or she the manufacturer. Like she on the phone. Like no, Mr. Charles, no, Mr. Charles. Like really. You need to order more. What you gonna do for these shirts? Like, word, like I'm 7 months behind, miss.
Hey yo, if she tries something, it's your fault.
I'm just trying to get. I ain't even come here for it. I'm trying to get my shirts. I'm behind. What you gonna do for you? No, Scan the room. Y'all into role playing? Like, this is an honest question. I knew you into role playing, man.
See, he got the hat on.
Yeah, it's the hat. He gave himself away. Like, I know he be doing like R&B groups and shit, like TGT. Like, yeah, he be in his bag. I know.
He put the hats on with the Timbs and the tube socks.
And photographers, we already know they get into it. So I already know.
Look at his
beard. Also on the same side note, on the same type of note, sex robots. So
sex robots.
Have like a few months ago when it was like a thing on Twitter. Like, did we see like those sex robots and shit? Like they super real.
Listen, if that's what you get into, and you feel like you want to take Kim Kardashian face, print it out, and put it over top of the robot, then you do what you gotta do.
That would be a market for you, man. Like when you venture off,
Making custom robots,
influencers,
sex robots.
Bernice, like you print up a Bernice.
We'll just do what all the other women influencers do. We'll fly her out to Dubai, or we'll ship it out to Dubai.
Talk about it. I was watching something. They said, yeah, that market kind of died down. It got too like
oversaturated.
They was saying that shit really like it's like draft picks. Like girls like move out there and then they just wait till they like get picked out the crop and shit. Like
somebody said, "Oh, y'all talking."
I can't even hear my clothes. Like, yeah, but it's like people really they be trying to get sailor. They move out there and just like wait for the day to get that call.
No,
like,
somebody paid them.
They
fly them out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the one girl came out on social and said it. She get flown out to Dubai.
I do remember saying it. So let's say it is right. Let's say the manufacturer lady again, right? They say she's like, all right, like, basically, would you let somebody shit on you for like, how much would it take for somebody shit on you, a girl?
Ain't nobody shitting.
Nobody shitting on you, like on your ankle.
No.
Because that girl said they get shit on their face, and I was like,
that's what they want. Though.
That's
they
intense.
pay for that.
That's intense. I like somebody shit on my ankle. You want somebody shit on your ankle?
For how much? Is it on camera?
That'd be more, but still doable though. 100,000 easy. Like the shit on your ankle, you ain't doing that. You be right up in New York Fashion Week. Like, what's a manufacturer? Like you gonna have all type of plugs. Oh, but like shit on your ankle. That's where it stopped. They was doing a lot. That girl, I remember that. You remind me. She was talking about a lot of wild shit like
pineapples.
Pineapples, yeah.
Pineapples.
So no shit on ankle at all.
No, not this year.
$1 million? You gonna turn that $1 million? I don't believe you.
Probably not.
All right, cool. Like,
ain't gonna get no. I don't know.
Miss Photographer, you turn that $1 million? That's my shit on your ankle.
Mm-hmm.
You turn that $1 million? That's my shit on your ankle.
Probably, yeah.
You gonna turn it down?
Yeah.
What?
That's shit.
You got too much pride.
Nigga, you just ate that girl butt in North Camden last week.
Whoa.
From Camden? Yo, you lied for free? You out of pocket, like.
Don't believe him.
She didn't even pay you?
He's a habitual liar.
No, I'm not.
And so you gave me the parting gift. Shout out to who you with, but fuck who you with, and fuck Vet too, cause she from Camden. She definitely type like you shouldn't just be eating her ass just for the free. Like she should be paying all type of niggas. Like. I should have known. I should have. As soon as you said Camden chick, I'm like, all right, I already know what that's here for.
Man.
But are you ready for some like future side? Are you ready for some like rapid fire questions? See where your head is at.
I'm ready.
All right, cool. Super pause. Let's start with you had $1 billion. What would be the first luxurious thing you buy yourself?
$1 billion?
Billion.
I'm not buying myself nothing. I'm going to
You
some
have
real
to.
estate.
No. You got it. Real ignorant.
Damn.
Real naggers.
Oh, I'm buying a manufacturer.
No, nigga, that's too responsible. Did I say luxurious? I'm sorry, luxurious item for yourself.
Damn, you said $1 million or $1 billion?
$1 billion.
I'm gonna buy.
Come on, buy the sex robot. It's cool.
The sex bot.
Buy the sex bot.
I
see it in your eyes.
I'll buy like a helicopter or something.
Helicopter? I respect that.
So I would fly to the manufacturer.
First time somebody said that. This nigga. He's mentally successful. I like it. If you can have dinner with 2 people, one dead, one alive, who would they be? Anybody.
Pocket.
Okay, I like it. 24 hours to live, starting as soon as this episode ends. What are you gonna do?
Catch a flight. No, damn, I got 24 hours. I'm not catching a flight.
Yeah, don't be trying to fly. Don't stop trying to go to manufacturer, yo. Like it's over. Like fuck this. There's 24 hours.
My last order in.
Put the last order in?
No, I'm gonna design all the designs for the rest of my life in 24 hours.
Alright.
So that she can get them made.
Don't let them down, queen. Don't do that. Let's go with have all the money and wear all the knowledge.
Knowledge, because I can get the money.
Okay. Do you think you might go crazy? Knowing everything?
Everybody that's intelligent, super intelligent, go crazy.
Not everybody with a bunch of money though.
That's even worse. Because you don't know what to do with it. People think money is the fix all. It's not. It makes things more difficult. You got to make more decisions on shit that you don't even really care about.
I always say it like this. I get to love your shout out to Cole. I get to love your sentiment and all that. But I always felt like, yes, of course, money won't solve your problems. Because if you have certain issues or things unpacked and, things you haven't resolved yet before the money probably will just compound it, overcomplicate shit even more. But if you kind of just cool,
yeah, but if you're
and
not
you
smart
just
enough to keep
poor,
your money, but most poor people are not smart enough to keep their money, so they wind up losing it anyway.
I'm gonna speak for myself here. I'm poor. I'm poor, pretty smart, and not too many demons. Give me the money and I'll be straight. But most people say, nah, try to get it. If you could travel to any country in the world, where would it be?
China.
Okay.
For the manufacturing.
God damn. If you could, gotta pick two things: to lose all your memories and never be able to make new ones, or what's the fucking question? God damn it, Zach! I need my computer. Lose all your memories, never be able to make new ones, or only have your old ones not. The reverse.
Yeah, what was it? I'm trying to think.
So you got the one scenario, you got all your old memories, but you can't make new ones.
Okay.
All right, and the other one is
You forget all the old ones.
you forget all the old
Only
ones,
make new
and you can
ones.
only make new ones.
So got a cat sex robot up
Don't expose this, like.
Nah, I need my memories because that's where I make my designs.
Okay, look at it this way. In this hypothetical scenario, you still have your abilities per se and your inspirations, but you don't have like just memories of like your childhood shit like that. You still know who your friends and family are, but you don't have like those vivid memories.
No, I need those.
Okay, cool. But you'd rather not be able to remember nothing that's gonna happen when you're at New Year's Fashion Week?
No, because it's gonna keep at New Year Fashion Week's gonna be repetitive, so it don't matter.
Talk heavy, King. I like it. How about if you could travel to any time period ever, whether future or past?
90s,
90s?
like when urban streetwear was like mecca.
Okay. Be up in New York?
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. And you could give, I'm gonna put this out in the atmosphere. Oh, I'm sorry, and that's one. If you could, would you sacrifice one of your fingers to be immune to all diseases? Major diseases.
Lose a finger?
Would you sacrifice your finger? Never gotta work about nothing ever again?
I can lose a pinky.
You what?
Yeah.
How about this one? Because this had a little controversy last episode. So, bear with me. So we in this dimension, right? This is like some interstellar fucking Inception type shit. So we in this dimension where slavery happened and we are where we are. There's another dimension where slavery never happened and whatever unfolded in history happened. Would you take 10 years out of this time to go into that dimension to see what, and then have the option to come back? Meaning, but even though you're here, your body's here, but you're not consciously living it though. So nobody's going to miss you and shit like that. You're just going to be living there consciously and seeing how everything turned out there. Would you do that?
You said I can come back?
You can come back if you want.
Yeah.
You what? 10 years away?
I don't know. That's a hard question. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I would stay.
I was surprised by some people saying they would, even people with kids. They say, yeah, 10 years. I'm like, nigga, 10 years without seeing your kid grow and shit like that. I said no, because, I'm cool. I'm not that curious.
Yeah, no. Because then I'm going to have to come back and find another manufacturer.
This nigga bull. This guy's meant to be great. This guy's good. All right, speaking of being great, we're going to put it into the atmosphere. After you get the manufacturer, then you buy 10 more manufacturers, and you do 10 more fashion weeks and all that shit. Then it's called Charles Week, all this stuff, whatever. You're given a lifetime achievement award for all that you've accomplished and achieved in your life and career. Is that right? What will the speech be like? Will it be long, written, freestyle, emotional, motivational, cocky? What's it going to be like on that stage?
It'll be motivational. I would focus.
Written and freestyle?
Probably freestyle.
You up there by yourself, or you bringing the team? The photographer gonna be up there.
Scott gonna be there.
All right.
Yeah, I'll bring everybody that was a crucial part. I mean, granted, not like everybody, but a good amount of people.
Manufacturer?
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool.
This time I'm in.
Gotcha, I respect it.
But nah, it would be motivational. I would focus more upon the story behind the brand versus the actual accomplishments of the brand.
Okay.
Because that's what's most important. I don't really care about. I'm not here for accolades.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck. I don't need confirmation from anybody in the fashion industry to tell me like, yo, that's dope. And I think that's where a lot of people lose their minds, is seeking that confirmation.
Most people need confirmation and validation, like constantly.
Yeah, like even artists in the industry, like until somebody else puts a stamp on them, they feel like they're not they're not good enough, or like that's why I got so much respect for Russ. Russ,
shout out to Russ.
Came out the gate, was like,
People
yo,
can't give him his credit he deserves.
Yeah, and he was like, yo, I'm that dude, and if y'all don't see it now, like one thing he said in an interview that I was listening to was, he was like, how are you going to red light my confidence? Like, how are you going to tell me not to be self-confident? It's self-confidence. Like, you can't tell me that I can't be confident in anything that I do.
Talk about it.
I think a lot of people who are insecure with themselves, they'll make it seem like you're being cocky.
Projecting out.
Right. But it's not. There's a difference between being confident and cocky. Like, when I know I'm capable of doing something, and if I want to speak it into the universe or whatever, that's fine, because I choose to do that. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, then that's something that you got to deal with on your own.
Yeah, and one thing before I ask you one last question. That's why even though Kanye's fucking batshit crazy now, and I just don't fuck with what he's doing, that's one thing I've always kind of had to give him slack for, because his level of determination and passion to where it's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go to design school. Nigga, you can't do design. You can't make clothes. All right, I'm gonna put it on the back burner. I'm gonna be a producer. Nigga, you can't make beats, and you become a producer.
Right.
I wanna rap now. Nigga, you can't fucking rap. Nigga, become one of the biggest rappers ever. Now I'm gonna go back to clothes. Nigga, who the fuck told you to go back to clothes? You're never gonna work with Louis. And he does all this shit. Nike stifles him. Now he has Adidas. And so it's like, once you do all these type of things, it's like, it's kind of understandable how you get to a certain point where it's like, who are you to tell me I can't do this? Like, I done did all this shit y'all said I wouldn't be able to do. So it's like, that type, I can see, so it is a distinct line between confidence and arrogance and beyond. But it's like, once you do certain shit, it's like, you know, it can get like muddy. And also, like, quick question: is there a dream collaboration? 'Cause I know you don't need validation, confirmation, but is there like
Dream collab?
like, no, fuck y'all, and it's Urbane.
It's funny that you say Urbane, because I'm probably not even using the name no more.
Damn.
Dead ass.
Why?
Because I don't want to define the brand by the name.
Okay.
And that's why, like,
The brand
the
formula.
products, like the products moving forward, Urbane's not going to be on it at all. Like, the color blocks are literally the brand, and that's it. It ain't no like, I'm going to get a T-shirt and embroider Urbane print across the front. Like,
I'm with that.
I'm not. No.
But will it be technically called that though?
It's going to switch.
Oh, we're just gonna switch.
I'm gonna switch to by Charles J, because I'm I'm the designer. It's literally my story.
You have a good name too, so yeah, that works. Every name won't work.
I changed my name.
Well, you have a good name now.
But no, like, I see so many people, and like, the one thing I do is I don't bash designers, because everybody has a customer, and that's how I approach it. But
Find yours.
for me, it's like,
what?
funny yourself, find yours. For me, it's like anybody can take a logo or take a name and put it on the front of a shirt. The question is, what are they buying into? Are they buying into the story behind the brand? Or are they just buying it? Like, people, on the real, like, people buy Supreme because it says fucking Supreme on it.
Facts.
If that shit did not say Supreme, ain't nobody gonna buy it. Like, Supreme can go put, you got a fucking Supreme sticker on a fucking vase right now.
Stickers, boy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, you put the name Supreme, like, that's what people are buying. They're buying the name. I don't want you to buy the name.
Zach.
I don't need you to buy the name. I just want you to see the color blocks, and then you think like, yo, what does that mean? Or what does that mean to me? Because then it internalizes it.
You got some stickers?
Sneakers?
Stickers.
Stickers? I do have stickers.
That'd be a cool sticker. Buy the sticker, Zach. Alright, on that note,
500.
did you enjoy yourself, sir?
Yeah.
Good conversation, you come back, we good?
The sex question, robots, and was a little.
Just an honest question, you know, just
I mean,
want to see where your head was at, you know, you never know.
My head is in the manufacturer.
Alright, but you know, drop your name and site so people know to find you at. You know, the drought is over. We got the manufacturer, you know, they tied up in the trunk. Everything good
We got
now.
this drop. We got the photo shoot tomorrow. We got the drop Friday for these windbreakers that I got on right now. Then come in November, most likely Black Friday. It's like a futuristic collection. Something that's like Urbane or by Charles J, like 2050 kind of vibe. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to get myself outside my comfort zone. Because I don't want to make the same things over and over again. I really want to challenge myself as a designer and see what I'm capable of. Because that's the only way you're going to grow is if you get outside your comfort zone. But yeah, this next collection, or rather, I'm not dropping collections anymore. The fashion industry is moving from
New
2
rules.
seasons to like, yeah. What rules do you have to play by? People listen to everybody in the fashion industry and say, "Oh, you have to drop a spring, summer,
Season,
fall, winter collection,
capsules,
or you're not a designer." No, fuck that. If I want to drop a T-shirt once a month, or if I want to drop a new design once a month, then I'm gonna do it. That's where the market's going anyway. And if you don't see it, you're gonna be far behind because you got to be consistent with this shit. You got to be dropping at least once a month to stay relevant, regardless of who you are. That's like Drake dropping Best I Ever Had and then not dropping nothing for a whole year.
And just super side note, that's one thing I've always respected about Drake, even though it's kind of came to bite him in the ass now because he's, you know, people were sick of him because he was winning for so long. But he's been the biggest since 2010, and he's been the most consistent.
Yeah.
Gotta respect it. But on that note, I enjoyed this conversation. I think it was a good one.
Yeah.
I really of course, I've seen you around, heard about you, seen the clothes, but I didn't know anything about the story. So I definitely appreciate hearing about that. And check out the shit. Buy them stickers, the $500 stickers when they come out.
$500 stickers.
Yeah. And RightonQuelive talk about it. We out.